But once again, welcome. My name is Glenn Mitchell, and I'm the Director of Law Enforcement Training here at Wake Tech Community College. And under that umbrella, I also am responsible for our 911 Telecommunicator Academy. And also joining us this morning for a presentation is Barbara Thomas, who goes by BJ. She works for us, and she also works in conjunction with Raleigh Wake Emergency Communications, but she is our instructor and kind of overseer and coordinator of the program. All right, I think I've kind of already hit the housekeeping. We'll have question and answer session at the end, but please post any of your questions or comments in the chat section, or either use raise my hand thing, and we will acknowledge and get to your questions. So any questions after this session, is our contact information. Feel free to email me at gtmitchell@waketech.edu or bjthomas3@waketech.edu. And I think Samantha was going to probably type that in the chat, so you'll have that. To reference that to.
I got on there.
All right, BJ.
Okay, I was, all right.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so this is our overview. Once again, welcome, and here we go.
Yes, you, Glenn.
All right, program overview. So basically what our program is we have partnered with Raleigh Wake Emergency Communications, the city of Raleigh, and Raleigh had always kind of run their own academy, and we actually joined in a partnership, and so now Wake Tech is helping to run the academy for Raleigh Wake Communications. But basically, we're providing knowledge and skills for entrance and advancements within public safety and government organizations. We're delivering basic training and required certifications to become a telecommunicator and a call taker. The class is about 12 weeks. It's broken up into two parts. We'll have approximately a 6-week class and a second 6-week class. So it'll be two separate classes that you would end up having to register for a total of 12 weeks. As far as the entry and certification, there are prerequisites for the program. Obviously, you're sort of doing what we're, one of the requirements right now, we'll give similar information, but you'll be required to attend an information session. Intentionally, right now, we have our first information session, January 6, 2021. And what we're going to do is, if that is the hard, fast date, we're going to send out invitations for you guys to join us for an information session virtually, and you'll have to attend one of those because we'll share a lot of information in that's pertinent to this class. You also must complete a background check request. You'll have to complete and submit a personal history statement, and also you'll have to submit payment for enrollment fees for Part 1 and Part 2. Disqualifiers for program entry. One is failure to accurately complete the F3, which is a personal history statement, and that personal history statement, it will capture things like your work history, your background, if you've ever been charged with anything, where you've lived, those sorts of things. Another disqualifier would, of course, be failure to submit payment for enrollment fees, any felony conviction, and any Class B misdemeanor conviction. And the reason we put that in there is because most agencies, when they go to hire you, they cannot hire you with those things right there. So we go ahead and put that out there that, you can still take classes at Wake Tech, if you've been convicted of things, but if you're trying to go into this line of work, we are trying to set you up for success. So we would hate for you to go through something only to get these credentials through us and then later on find out that you're not even eligible for a job because of this. So that's why we go ahead and tell you that up front. Requirements for completion of certification. Attendance is required throughout the entire academy, and tardiness will not be permitted. We're really big on this because what we're doing is we're setting the standard from the day one, from when you go into your interview to when agency. They're not going to allow you to be late. So, we're going ahead and setting that standard here. You can't be tardy. There will be examinations, and you must achieve at least an 80% or higher on all practical and written examinations. Certifications you'll receive, there will be, you'll have to, all required certification must be obtained to successfully complete the program. And then, of course, academic integrity, you have to maintain a high level of honesty and integrity.
Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the 911 Academy program and just give you a brief description of what you can expect if you were to participate. Like Glenn alluded to, there's two parts. The first part, right now, our target date for starting is February 4th of 2021. And this first part, the 240 hours, consists of an intensive classroom instruction and then the certifications that we alluded to earlier. This 240 hours does not include holidays and weekends. During this first part, you will become certified as an emergency police dispatch telecommunicator, and you'll receive that instruction. You'll receive your emergency telecommunicator certification, which is a 40-hour course, and it has a certification exam at the end, which you must pass with a 80% or better. And then you will also receive CPR certification during part one. Then you move on to part two, and part two is more advanced certification and practical application. So all the things that you'll be learning, you'll also be able to apply in a simulated training center. During that 240-hour period, which also does not include holidays and weekends, you will become EMD, Emergency Medical Dispatch Certified. You will also become Emergency Fire Dispatch Certified, and you'll have the call processing practice. And I talked about the simulated state-of-the-art training lab. The thing about these certifications is they're very important because they are 2-year certifications along with the CPR, and they can be used at any agency, any law enforcement agency that does emergency fire or emergency medical dispatch. All of the classes during the academy are on a schedule of Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you'll be working at dual campuses, both the Raleigh-Wake Emergency Communications Center as well as Wake Tech Community College. And due to inclement weather and things like that, the schedule is subject to change, but nothing will be lost during that time that you are in the academy. So what is your financial investment? You may be curious about that. Just breaking down the cost for both of the parts. Part one, which includes your course fees and CPR certification, and your card, comes to a total of $221. The part two, which is your course fee, it comes to $198. So then what are the next steps? Glenn talked about earlier that we are going to plan an information session which will be required. And so if you are interested in a career as a 911 telecommunicator, which is a career that will never end, 911 will go on and on and on. There are tremendous opportunities. There are opportunities for advancement, and you certainly can segue into other career law enforcement related areas if you so desire. But if you believe that this exciting opportunity is for you, and you want to learn more about it, the first step that you'll have to take is to attend the information session. And right now, that tentative date is January 6, 2021. You will be able to receive specific times and more details once we have your email information from this session, this virtual open house, and we'll contact you and let you know what those specific dates are and what you'll need to do to attend. So again, look at this as a career opportunity, an open door for those who are interested in moving in this direction, and stay tuned for more to come. And at this point, we'll turn it over to questions and answers.
Hey, BJ, really quick, one thing that I know from helping do this, a lot of people always have a lot of different questions, and so I wanted to kind of put some of those out there that you may have. One thing that this is a Monday through Friday. 8 to 5. So we normally run class from 8 to noon. You'll go to lunch from noon until 1, and then you'll be back from 1 until 5. So it is a full-time program. Right now, we don't have a part-time program. A lot of times people ask about part-time programs or an online program. So right now, we don't have any parts of this that are online. We don't have a night or a weekend because there's so much information. There's so many certifications and so much that you're learning. This is actually a full-time program. People have asked me before, could they do, work at night and still do this full-time program? And the answer is yes, but it's not recommended because you're learning so much information during the day. You're having to do so much studying at night. This is almost your full-time job. So I guess you technically could, but it's probably not, it's not recommended just because there's so much information and so much studying that you're having to do. So it would, I think personally for me, knowing my study habits and how much studying it takes when I study for something, it would really be difficult to have a nighttime job and be able to come here in class and being able to do what you need to do for 12 weeks solid from 8 to 5 each day. So I know those are always some of the questions. Some of the other questions that we have is, is there financial aid for this? So we are under workforce continuing education, and technically there is not financial aid like you would think of when you go through CFNC or anything, but there are some scholarships available. So, if you are interested and you get through the process to where, hey, it may be a hindrance whether or not you can do this because of money, we can talk. But, we would ask that, if you're definitely interested in, money may be the obstacle. Don't let money be the obstacle. So if you're thinking about doing this, but you're like, man, I just can't afford, 2 classes and that in the position I'm in right now, I can't afford that. Don't let that be a hindrance. If you qualify for everything else, let's move forward. But it's an intense program. There's a lot going on, a lot to learn. So anyways, I'll be quiet because I know you guys may still have some questions. I see that we may have, Samantha, do we have any questions or hand raised or anything that we haven't covered?
Let me double check the chat. I put the both of your emails in the chat box.
Okay.
We do not have any questions in the chat box.
Okay.
But just to let everyone know, okay, Abby does have her hand raised.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't offer part-time right now. Does it ever get offered part-time?
I can answer that, Glenn. Absolutely not, because it is, again, this is a certification program. And so
Right.
I do not anticipate it being a part-time. And as you can look at the schedule, when we have the schedule posted, it runs 12 to 14 weeks consecutively. And,
Right.
and like I said, every day is a new day packed full of information. And that's why the attendance requirement is there as well, because if you miss a day, you miss a chunk of change when it comes to information. But we're moving. We run this academy throughout the year, so we don't just do one. We do 2 or 3 depending on. And so no, we cannot do a part time on this at all.
Okay. I have a full-time job, so making the career change it's a big thing. So
Right.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there's a couple more hands I see too.
Yes, looks like we have Nancy.
Yes, I think I missed part of the beginning, but what is the age requirements for the program?
18 years or older.
Okay, perfect. That's what I thought. Thank you.
And then we also have Crystal.
Okay, so my question is, do you have students that's looking for employment as a telecommunicator?
Do we have students?
Yes, do you ever have students in the program, in the academy, that's looking for employment? Or are most students kind of already, signed on with an agency and they're coming to get their certification?
So
No. Go ahead, Glenn.
So some of our students have already been hired by the city of Raleigh, and the other ones that come in are actually, preparing to go into the field. So they're looking to enter into the workforce in this manner. Yes, ma'am. We would love for, agencies across, the North Carolina to send their people to us and send them through this academy. That would be huge. But a lot of times what we're finding is, people are doing career changes or whatever they were doing didn't work out. And so they're looking for, something they can make a career. And that's what this is it a career? Because a lot of agencies that you join on with, they have, retirement, they have paid health care, medical, they have all these different benefit packages. So when people are looking at this, it is actually a career. It's not just a job, but it's something someone could come and work for 30 years and make an investment into their future and their family's future, and then have that retirement afterwards with medical and so forth and so on. So it is an actual career, and it is the first step in our public safety. A lot of times we think police, firefighters, EMS, but really the very first ones that answered the call that started administering help immediately are telecommunicators, because without them, they are the lifeline to the citizens, and they're the lifeline to our first responders. So but yes, so that's kind of a long answer to your question, but yes, ma'am, we do have people come in to the program that are not yet hired and that are seeking.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things I'd like to add to that is that we are very proud of them, and the reason is because, again, if you're really interested in a career as a 911 telecommunicator or advancing to some other aspect of law enforcement, this is a great segue into that, because one of the things that we're offering that most agencies end up having to take care of themselves is the certifications. Those 2-year certifications right now are very important. And so a person who is interested in working with an agency that comes in and already has those credentials under their belt has an advantage in a hiring pool, because those are things that you normally have to have done and have acquired within the first 90 to 180 days on the job, especially a new job. So it's quite an advantage, and it really does elevate your qualifications as an individual who is ready to move right into 911 dispatch and do so with knowledge and credentialing that is essential for success in that program. So we're very proud of this opportunity that we can present to the public to give them that leadway into and learn more about the career to determine if it really is something that individual wants to do.
Thank you, BJ. If there are any other questions that you guys may have that we did not answer that we possibly could answer for you?
I do have a few questions, Glenn.
Yes, ma'am.
That they may have as well. If they are already CPR certified, will they have to get that certification again through the academy?
So, they might not have to if they are not an employee of Raleigh Wake at the time that they enter into the academy. We will find something else for them to do during that period of time that the CPR training is going on, because it is provided in connection with this program. But if the person is currently CPR certified and they're not going to be working for Raleigh Wake ECC, then they probably will not have to take it again. The ones we do require to do it is so that everybody can recertify at the same time. But other than that, no.
And then also, what is your hire rate for those that complete the academy?
So for right now, this partnership is a new extension of the academy. Previously, each individual in the academy was already employed by Raleigh Wake.
And prior to us coming in partnership with Raleigh Wake, our very first academy that we had on our own, I think we graduated 7 students, and I think at last count 5 of those had become employed. We have some, I think, employed now with the town of Cary, the Wake County Sheriff's Office, maybe 2. So far, we've had a very good success rate. And that's the thing is, we're going to do everything we can prepare. So when you go out into the job market, from from interviewing to, your certifications to everything. We're going to do the very best that we can to prepare you that when you do leave here, you will be a very highly qualified and highly desirable candidate.
Great. And we do have 2 questions in the chat.
Okay.
Betsy would like to know what is the salary range and is there a maximum age?
So the typical salary range, and again, this is regional, geographically driven, but the typical salary range for a new trainee coming in is around 30 to 34,000, give or take a few dollars here and there. And as far as the age, there is no max or no cap on the age that a person can enter into this industry by any means. But again, the salary is regional. Your metropolitan areas tend to pay a little higher. If you go out west, you're going to see almost double that for a starting salary. So it just depends.
All right, let's see if there was any more questions, because I know we are just about out of time, and I don't want anyone to be late for their next meeting. But once again, thank you for joining us. We're honored that you would join our, to my knowledge, first ever 2020 virtual open house. Normally we do this every year in person, but obviously we've adapted, and that's what we do here. But we greatly appreciate it. I think we have all of your emails captured, so I'll be sending out a Teams invite to come to our information session. Obviously you're not obligated, but if this is something that you do wish to pursue, you'll need to come, to that information session. But once again, thank you. Hope you guys learned what it is you wanted to learn, and I hope you're signed up for other sessions. And that'll be it. We'll close out with that, and so you guys have time to get to your next sessions. Thank you again.
Thank you all.
you.